You're listening to the Savoir Faire Audio Experience.
Are you ready?
The Savoir Faire Experience is your guide to everything that has to do with lifestyle. From dating, rides, style, and entertainment. All brought to you by the editor of Savoir Faire magazine, Robert White. Anything goes on this audio experience. So, let's go.
It's still the best.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Savoir Faire Audio Experience. We appreciate you checking out all of our content and following us. Again, we're bringing you another great interview today. I love these interviews because music is one of my first loves, and I love kind of just picking the brain of musical artists and people that are involved in songwriting. So today we're talking to Jed Becker, who is a singer-songwriter guitarist for Joy Buzzer. What's up, Jed? How are you?
Hey, how are you? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good for hearing from you too, and I appreciate you finding some time to chit-chat with me today. Jed, we're going to go on a little journey with you about music, and I'm excited to kind of learn a lot about you and the band and this new track that is being released. But I want to start with a little bit of just you. If you could tell me a little bit of your backstory, it's a very interesting job history that you have in music. I'd be really kind of like excited to hear more about what I may have missed or didn't get when we were introduced. So yeah, just take me down a little walk memory lane of you and music and how it all started.
Grew up on Long Island, and I was drawn to music at a very young age. I was in bands like so many people in high school. And eventually I decided on trying my hand at a music career. So I went to the Berklee School of Music. Don't hold that against me, people. And I actually graduated from Berklee. So I got a great education there. Came back. Of course, I wanted to go to New York City, which I did, and started getting jobs in recording studios. So I spent a long time as an audio engineer, playing in local bands, a number of local bands around the city, while making scratching out a living as a studio guy, mostly in post-production as opposed to music studios. I was working in post-production studios, so mixing radio commercials, television commercials, that kind of thing. And a lot of stuff happened, and eventually I found my way onto doing audio for a new cartoon series called Dora the Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
And
very unpopular cartoon, by the way.
Yeah. Before that, I did have a lot of experience writing music for jingles, a lot of radio commercials, TV commercials, and then so I was doing audio engineering and composing at the same time, whatever it took just to pay the rent,
Yeah.
And so I was doing audio engineering for this new series, Dora the Explorer, and little by little I got opportunities to write songs for it, and then eventually I became the composer, doing the underscores for that, writing dozens of songs for that, working on another series related to that called Go Diego Go, and I did a lot of music.
Yeah, that's super cool. Talk to me about the beginning stages of that, because I think that's a really cool piece of your history is that you became the composer and musical director for a cartoon that none of us can hide from. Everybody knows who Dora the Explorer is. So how did that really get started with that job? You said you kind of went through the ranks before you actually became that position?
Yeah, this is actually a good story just for anyone that might be listening that's starting out. And that is as I say, I was just, moving from opportunity to opportunity, working for some jingle houses and working at mixing. So doing both. And I actually got the job via a cold call. I just went through this book that was very popular. It might even still be around, looking at post-production studios and just cold calling and saying, "Hi, my name is Jed. I'm an audio engineer. Do you have any work for me?" And I called one studio and they said, "Yeah, we're just about to start a new cartoon. We could use another guy." And so that's how I got started. Again, just doing audio engineering on that show. I got to meet the executive producer of the show and the writers on the shows. And I let them know I was also a composer, and then they gave me a shot, and I wrote a song, and then I wrote another song, and then I wrote a lot more songs. And meanwhile, I was working very closely with the composer on the show at that time, whose name is Steve Stamberg, great guy. And eventually he left the show, and having been so familiar with the underscores because I was cutting them into the shows as the audio engineer, they asked a few composers to submit demos, and they said, do whatever you want. This doesn't have to be exactly what Steve Sandberg was doing. And I said, I'm going to do exactly what Steve Sandberg was doing. And I demoed it, and I beat out a couple of other very talented guys, and I got the job. And I spent the next few years composing the underscores for that show, and then the new show, Diego. And as you mentioned, I was also the musical director of the show for years. So that means I was in the booth with the talent, mostly children, getting them to sing these songs that a lot of the time I had written, and some of the time that other composers, songwriters had written. So I was in the booth with dozens, maybe hundreds of kids, getting them to sing. And I also got to work with people like Cheech Marin and Hilary Duff and John Leguizamo and other celebrity talent.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because like some of the celebrities we recognize today came from Barney. So I was curious to see if any of the kids from Dora the Explorer's backstory, kind of came out of that and had successful careers like people that you had worked with. But you just mentioned some names that are very familiar to a lot of us, I'm sure.
Yes. The one of the later. This is embarrassing. You're not going to be able to use this bit right here. I don't remember the name of the girl, and I don't want to say I don't remember the name of the girl in the era. So
what song? What song does she sing?
One of the girls that was one of the later Doras went on to become the star of a live-action Dora movie. I could look up her name really quickly, and I could take that again if you want to.
Maybe I could get it. Yeah, let's see. The live-action Dora, right?
Yeah. I'm embarrassed I don't remember her name. And I worked very closely with her. She's a great kid.
Isabella Merced?
Yes, Isabella Merced, exactly.
Yeah, okay. That was a quick Google search there.
You want to give me the question again, or should I just give you an answer?
No, I think it's fun. Don't worry about it. It's completely okay.
Okay, fine. We won't use that.
Yeah, no worries. So let's dive into some other parts of this because I think your career is very cool, and I obviously music has been a first love for you for a long time. Being educated at college, diving into, the production aspects, but then you become a member of Joy Buzzer. How long have you been in the band? What's going on? How you guys all met? And what is Joy Buzzer? Like, what's that even mean?
Okay. So, I'll go back. The origins of Joy Buzzer started in a band that I was in before Joy Buzzer with my lead singer, Kevin Lyden, who's the lead singer of Joy Buzzer. Kevin and I were in a band previous to that called the Lord Calverts. And that band got started about 12 years ago. And we were a garage rock band, and we played all original 60s style garage rock with Kevin and my co-producer on Joy Buzzer. Osgold Buck was the other guitarist in the band, and I was the rhythm guitarist. He's the lead guitarist. And so that band existed for maybe 9 or 10 years, and then COVID hit. And over COVID, obviously no one was playing live anymore. And so I started creating other stuff, and I created a cover band called the Poppertunists. And we put out a number of videos that we did. Remember, over COVID, it became very popular to do these at-home videos where you'd see everyone in their own Zoom box, performing.
Yep.
Right. So we did a bunch of those, and they're still out there on YouTube as the Poppertunists, with Kevin singing and Osgold on guitar. But the other thing that happened was, over COVID, as many creative people did, I just started creating. And as a songwriter, I just started writing songs. And so I also was not writing garage rock songs aimed to be performed by the Lord Calverts. I just started writing whatever I felt like writing. And like 15 songs just came out of me over this period of time. And eventually around 2022, when people were starting to perform live again, I asked some friends of mine if they wanted to perform these songs live. And Kevin Lyden, great singer that he is, agreed to do it. And I reached out to a number of other people, including drummer Mark Broder, who was the drummer with the Popportunists, and we got together and we started performing these songs live. And Joy Buzzer is a power pop band. We play power pop music, which I define as pop music with loud guitars and huge hooks. That's how I see it. And yeah, go on.
No, I'm going to say it was very cool sound. I hadn't heard you guys' music before, so I was listening to it this morning and kind of going through some of the tracks, and there's some really, really solid stuff there. I mean, I really like the style and the musicality you guys all have. It's a very talented group of really great musicians that are kind of having a little bit of fun with their instruments. It's not just like this really kind of clean I'm not saying clean in like a negative way either. Like, it's not really clean. It's kind of a little mishmash of stuff. And I like that kind of blend, but it's just, you guys are so educated with your instruments and music in general that it just kind of all comes together. And that's the kind of style that I was picking up with, especially this new track that you guys just released. I want to talk to you about that too.
Well, thanks very much for the compliment. Regarding Joy Buzzer, I think you asked me, what is a Joy Buzzer?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what a Joy Buzzer is, and they think it's dirty, which I like the fact that they think it's dirty. But in fact, the Joy Buzzer is the old gag that you put this thing in the palm of your hand and you shake someone's hand and it goes buzz, and it's supposed to give them a shock. You'd see them in the backs of You'd see them in the backs of comic books, or in a magic shop. That's called a Joy Buzzer, and so. That's what a Joy Buzzer is. But I love the fact that people have dirty minds and great imaginations. And
I think it comes to it comes into really good marketing when people don't get it correct for you too, because it just makes it very playful, right? So, all right. So Joy Buzzer, you guys have been releasing music and kind of covering a lot, but this new song is called Simone. And obviously I have a lot of questions about Simone. It's the newest release by you guys. You can access it all over the place. So who was Simone? Talk to me about the creation of this song. What kind of ideas did you want the audience to kind of learn from this particular music that you guys are putting out?
Simone is it's certainly a power pop song. It kicks butt, it really moves along, and it's got a big hook on it and a great guitar solo on it. This song was actually inspired by a real wonderful friend of mine, Simone Zimmerman. So down on the Lower East Side, everyone listening should be aware of the fact that there's a guy who's named Steve Krebs, and Steve Krebs is a major guy down there who has been booking shows at the Parkside Lounge and Otto's Shrunken Head for years. And every band that passes through the Lower East Side of New York City passes through Steve Krebs' shows. One's called The Endless Party. And so that's over at the Parkside. And Steve's girlfriend is Simone Zimmerman. And every year he throws a birthday party for her. And one year he invited us to perform at her birthday party. And I thought it would be fun to write a song for her birthday party. So the song is about unrequited love and this guy, lusting after or desiring Simone, and he can't reach her, and that's obviously completely imaginative. But there is a real Simone, and the song is not about her, but it was inspired by her and the birthday party that we performed at.
Yeah, that's very cool. I love that. And I love that you guys got this very creative kind of concept from not only a real person, but at this party where things kind of click. And that's what I like about so much about an artist's brain or a songwriter's brain, is that the random little things that happen in a day-to-day can be the trigger to release an entire song. And this is not a small process, obviously. This is putting effort into writing the words, taking it to the band, creating everything, putting the sound behind it, and now releasing it as a track. So it's very cool that this little kind of trigger idea that you had at this birthday party turned into something like this. I love those kind of stories. So what other inspirations do you think, like Joy Buzzer in general, kind of pay attention to? What are the things that help you guys create the music or the live show or the style of music that you play? What kind of influences all that?
So the music for Joy Buzzer is written by me, and I bring it to the band. And, I'm inspired by the bands that I love in a style of music that I really love. So I listen to those artists, and I aspire to, I try to write as well as I can in order to try to do something that feels good and, kind of that I feel I can hold up as a good imitation or a good homage to the great power pop bands that I admire very much. Bands like Squeeze or Todd Rundgren, or I'm a huge fan of Fountains of Wayne, Cheap Trick, Badfinger. These kinds of artists are bands that really inspire me.
Yeah, Fountains of Wayne is an excellent example of that style for sure, because they have Stacy's Mom and they have all these kind of silly kind of songs, but they're still very, very good musicians that really deliver well. And I think you guys have a very similar style to that. That's one of the tracks I actually was it's on my playlist all the time, like Fountains of Wayne, and it was clicking with me that was a band until when you just mentioned it, you just confirmed that I was on the right track for genre style. Which is very cool. So I want to go back to Simone a little bit further and just talk a little bit more about this track. So you told me how the song came together a little bit, but like once you kind of write the lyric and take it to the band, talk to me about the experience of just working with the band and converting it into maybe a song that's not yours anymore, but now it becomes a Joy Buzzer song. So what's that process like?
So basically, I'll demo any song that I've written for the band, and so I've already sketched out the bass part and the drum part and how the vocals go and the harmonies and the guitar parts. So then I bring it to the band. We get it in the studio and we get it up on its feet, and we work through it, and everyone puts the effort in, and it takes a little while sometimes to get the jigsaw puzzle to all come together and click, but eventually we wind up doing it. And right now I've got such an incredibly talented group of musicians that I'm working with. If I can just mention the rest of the band members.
Oh, for sure, yes.
Other than Kevin Lydon as the lead vocalist, and I mentioned Mark Broder on drums, we have KG Noble on the second guitar, also taking lead as well as me. We share those duties, and she is also a wonderful backing vocalist. And another guy, Nick DiMatteo, is incredibly talented. He's also such a talented singer and songwriter himself. He's on bass, and he's also handling backing vocals. So I've got three really great singers in the band, and when I bring the music to them, I'm really excited because I know that they're going to do an awesome job with it. And I also want to mention that my co-producer is still Osgold Buck, the second guitarist, the lead guitarist from the band I mentioned, the Lord Calverts. He is not in this band, but he is still my sounding board and my co-producer. So he co-produced this track with me, as well as co-producing the album that came out last year on Wicked Cool, called Pleased to Meet You. That's Joy Buzzer's debut album that came out in October of 2024.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I will make sure that I definitely tag the song and some options for people to go listen to it. But there are other places where they can, obviously hear the song. So do you want to drop a couple of those for me, Jed? Like, obviously they can go to YouTube, Spotify. I found it on Spotify and YouTube this morning, but are there any other places where people can go get their music?
It's on Apple Music. There's also a link at joybuzzarband.com, our website, where you can go in order to get downloads for that music. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so I was looking at that too, joybuzzarband.com. And you mentioned to me June 12th is a very special day for you guys. Where are you playing at?
June 12th, we're doing a great night of music. I hope everyone comes out to it. We're doing a night of a bunch of bands that are on Wicked Cool. Joy Buzzer is going to be performing with Steve Conti, who's a great guy, well known for having been in a later incarnation of the New York Dolls. He plays with Michael Monroe. He's been around for a long time. Really super great guy, talented guy. And we're playing with the Jelly Bricks, another great Wicked Cool band who I would say is probably also a power pop band. I love their songs. They're great. And we also have a New York band called the Midnight Callers, who are on Gem Records. another great power pop band. So if you're a fan of this genre, if you just like great music, Thursday, June 12th, Bowery Electric, please come out. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be, man. And I hope I can make it too. So I want to thank you so much for your time today, Jed. This has been a very cool interview. Congratulations on really just a great success. Happy birthday, by the way. Today's your birthday, the day we're recording. So let's put that out into the world for you. But yeah, I hope people will go check everything out. We'll have links and all that good stuff in the bio of the podcast episode if you're listening here. And then you guys can go check out them in New York City at the Bowery Electric on June 12th. So appreciate your time, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the show. Please take a minute to head over to www.savfair.com and subscribe to our publication.